and thanks for joining me, your sport pilot James Glory, on another exciting episode of Sport Vibe on DNTWOK, where we'll bring you exciting and latest sport happenings across the world of sport. Liverpool occupies the top of the Premier League table. This and more will be discussing shortly after this break. Welcome back, starting from the Premier League, where we hit the ground running for this week. You remember that Manchester City and Arsenal are yet to be defeated in the Premier League this season, but guess who is at the top of the Premier League table? It is Liverpool being at the top of the Premier League table after suffering a defeat to Nottingham Forest. They have bounced back, defeating Wolverhampton to occupy the top of the Premier League table. In their 7 matches that they have played so far in the Premier League, they have only conceded 2 goals in the Premier League, and with 15 points they are sitting at the top of the Premier League table. Is an interesting one for Liverpool, showing dominance under Ancelotti, defeating Wolverhampton to win their match during the weekend and take them above Manchester City and Arsenal in the Premier League. Also, you will remember that during the weekend Manchester City played Newcastle, where they were only able to get a point, and you would know that Manchester City are currently suffering some injuries to their players, where we know that Rodri is out of the season for Manchester City. Could this affect Manchester City title race? Also, you know that Kevin De Bruyne is out injured for Manchester City. How will they be coping with these major players out on injury for them? I know that Pep Guardiola is someone that is tactically sound and could switch games between his players to win games for them and Manchester City in the Premier League. But you can see the effects of Rodri out and De Bruyne out during the weekend, as Newcastle fought back to get a draw against Manchester City, who currently sits second in the Premier League with 14 points ahead of Arsenal, that they are leading on goal difference. Also, you will remember that during the weekend Arsenal had to fight tooth and nail to get 3 points that they deserve definitely against Leicester City. You will remember that Leicester just got promoted to the Premier League, and everybody will be hoping with the form that Arsenal Football Club is, they will be able to get the 3 points with ease against Leicester City. But it will shock you to know that Arsenal could only score the winning goal at the latter end of the match, where their goal came at the 94 minutes and at the 97 minutes of that match to get the whole 3 points against Leicester City. And this means that they are just behind Manchester City on goal difference in the Premier League table. An interesting one during the weekend was a match between Chelsea and Brighton and Hove Albion, where we saw 6 goals scored between this club, and everything was scored in the first half of the match. And another interesting one historically is talking about Cole Palmer, the young man who was able to score 4 goals in the first half in the first match in the Premier League history. He becomes the first player to be able to score 4 goals in the first half of a match in the Premier League. Cole Palmer currently has the world at his feet right now, scoring 4 goals. Remember, in that particular match he was able to score a penalty and also another set piece, this time around a free kick to seal his hat-trick for Chelsea Football Club, and he went ahead again to score the 4th goal in the Premier League in just 45 minutes after he was set up by Jadon Sancho. Sancho, for the record purpose, already has 3 assists to his name in the Premier League already, and playing for Chelsea Football Club. Quite an interesting form he has picked up with Chelsea Football Club. But we cannot fail to talk about Cole Palmer, the young boy and the young talent who just made his move from Manchester City to Chelsea, helping Chelsea last season. He has continued with that same form, scoring 6 goals in 7 matches for Chelsea Football Club. He is just behind single-handedly brought Haaland, who has managed to score 10 goals in 7 matches this season. Cole Palmer being nominated for the Ballon d'Or award has proven himself worthy of the nomination, and let's see if he continues with the same form. He could probably be winning it next year. If you ask me, it's too soon to talk about that, but you can take nothing from Cole Palmer, who currently has 4 assists in the Premier League this season, and this means he has been able to get a goal involvement of 10 goals involvement in just 7 Premier League matches for Cole Palmer, who has the world at his feet and becomes the youngest player and the fastest player, and becomes the only player to have scored 4 goals in the first half in a Premier League match. Is an interesting one also, where you talk about Chelsea Football Club having an outstanding performance and have hit the ground running in the Premier League. We can talk about Manchester United, who is experiencing the direct opposite of what Chelsea is experiencing in the Premier League this season, as Manchester United were defeated by Tottenham Hotspur on home soil 3-0. Ten Hag has so many questions to answer from Manchester United fans as they suffered another defeat on home soil to Tottenham Hotspur. 3-0 was an emphatic defeat for Manchester United and a huge one to swallow for their fans on home soil. As the rain was dripping, Manchester United were receiving some huge punishment from Tottenham Hotspur. Ten Hag needs to answer some questions. Like I said earlier, what is this manager doing with Manchester United? What is their style of play? And another sort to the injury for Manchester United is that their captain Bruno Fernandes was shown a red card in that particular match. We talk more on this shortly when we're back from the break. Welcome back, and we're still talking about Manchester United. I think we should start asking Ten Hag the question. This is not the first time I'll be saying this season, but I think this should be probably the last time we'll be seeing Ten Hag managing Manchester United, as they'll be facing Aston Villa next week in the Premier League. They'll be traveling away to Portugal to face Porto in the Europa League. How far and how many points will Erik Ten Hag team will be getting in their coming match to salvage the season and this job for him this season? And also, let's travel down to the Spanish La Liga, where we'll talk about an interesting match that took place on Sunday, where we'll talk about the Madrid debut between Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, where we saw that one ending 1 goal apiece between these two, and Real Madrid in their 7 matches recently against Atletico Madrid are yet to get a win against Atletico Madrid. This means that Barcelona, who suffered a defeat to Osasuna during the weekend, currently occupies the 1st position in the Bundesliga. Their defeat to Osasuna during the weekend is their 1st defeat in the Spanish La Liga under Hansi Flick this season, and it was an emphatic one for Osasuna, who defeated the league leaders 4-2 during the weekend, and this means that they are 21 points in the La Liga table right now, followed closely by Real Madrid that has 18 points after playing 3 draws in the Spanish La Liga. But in the Spanish La Liga, we talk about an individual who plays for Atletico Madrid. We talk about Anthony Griezmann, who has been able to make his 500 appearances in the La Liga this season after he came to play against Real Madrid. This was an interesting one for him, hitting the milestone of 500 appearances in the Spanish La Liga. You remember that Anthony Griezmann, who started his career with Real Sociedad, was able to play 141 matches with Real Sociedad, and playing for Barcelona, the rival of Atletico Madrid, he was able to make 75 appearances in the Spanish La Liga for Barcelona, and in total he has been able to make 285 appearances for Atletico Madrid, making it 500 appearances for Anthony Griezmann, the highest goal scorer of Atletico Madrid. As things stand, he has 184 goals to his name in the La Liga, and you remember he has spent 15 years in the La Liga right now. We can take nothing away from Anthony Griezmann, the man that has also proved that he's one of the great and the most underrated player in the world of football. Because if you ask me, he is the third highest goal scorer for France, and for his club, he is the all-time highest goal scorer for Atletico Madrid. You can take nothing away from the attacking midfielder in the world of football. And also, let's talk about the Serie A, where we saw Napoli moving up to the top of the table after their win during the weekend. We saw Torino suffering their first defeat in the Serie A as they were defeated by Lazio 3-2, and this means that is their first defeat in the Serie A, and this has taken them to the 5th position in the Serie A as Napoli currently occupies the top position in the Serie A. They are followed closely by Juventus, AC Milan and Inter Milan at the 4th position of the Serie A table. And also back to the Bundesliga, where we talk about Bayern Munich, who failed to win Bayern Leverkusen, who were the defending champion of last season, in their match during the weekend. The match could only end 1 goal apiece between these two. You remember that Bayern Leverkusen last season were able to defeat Bayern Munich and were able to get a draw, and throughout the season for Bayern Leverkusen last season they were undefeated in the Bundesliga, but this season already they have had a draw to their name. They have had a defeat where they were defeated by RB Leipzig, their first defeat in a long while in the Bundesliga. But as things stands, Bayern Munich after 5 matches are sitting comfortably at the top of the Bundesliga table. They are only followed closely by Frankfurt, and let's see how far Vincent Kompany will be able to go with his team. Remember, they have scored so many goals already in the Bundesliga, and in their match against Bayern Leverkusen, you know that Harry Kane suffered an injury, and there has been a speculation if he will play in their next match. But Harry Kane, let's pray that he will be participating and he will be playing in the next matches for Bayern Munich. But if he's going to be absent, we know that Bayern Munich is full of some talent. Currently, we have Olise playing for that team, and he's doing incredibly well after making his move from Crystal Palace to the Bayern Munich side during the transfer window. And this is the length at which we'll be going on this week's episode of Sport Vibe on DNTWOK. For more news and sports stories, follow us across our various social media handles at Sport Vibe on DNTWOK. Enjoy your week, remain blessed, stay safe, and stay out of trouble. Thank you.